Hello, my name's Nick Penny and I've been making musical instruments out of junk with children in schools for 20 years or more, since the mid-80s. And I just thought I'd show you this instrument called a poptar, which has been very successful. Children have absolutely loved making these. I called it a poptar when I invented it because it's made from a pop bottle and it's got a string, like a guitar. And basically what it is a plastic bottle with an opening cut in it, a string going up the middle which has a piece of wood fixed to it, and if you twist it round like a propeller it tightens the string up and you can change the sound. So it's quite a lot of sounds you can make from very simple materials. 2-litre bottles work the best. You can use a 1-litre bottle or even smaller, but I think you get a better sound out of a 2-litre bottle. First thing perhaps you need to do is to cut the label off if it's got one on it. Usually they'll come off pretty well. I mean, you could leave it on there, but I think it's nice to maybe decorate the instrument yourself, put stickers and things like that on it at the end, so it's nice to take the label off. Take the top off, you don't need that. Now what I've done with this bottle, and this would need a grown-up to do this, I've cut a little slit with a craft knife. Just a short little slit. Like I say, that's something that an adult would need to do very carefully. But once there's a slit in it, you can get inside with a pair of scissors and cut a sort of a window, if you like, out of the bottle. And that wants to be about 3 fingers wide, 3 fingers high. Well, 3 fingers like that. And like that. That's about. It could be a bit smaller. I mean, you can always make it a little bit bigger later on, but don't make it too big because it'll make the bottle very weak. The string I find that works the best, I mean any string will do, but the string that sounds the best is called polypropylene string. It's a sort of plastic type of string you can get in hardware stores. And we need to cut a piece, measure and cut a piece about 1.5 times around the bottle. So if you hold it at the top, take it down to the bottom, up to the top again, and then down to the bottom again. That's about how long it wants to be. And of course this string comes in lots of nice colours as well, so you can choose your favourite colour to make the instrument with. Then we need to sort of fold the string in half, if you like, bring the 2 ends of the string together, and at the other end you've made a sort of a loop then. Just sort of squash that down nice and flat. Now something else I've done to the bottle is I've drilled a small hole in the bottom of it with an electric drill. Again, that's something that very much that needs to be done very carefully by an adult or grown-up, and that wants to be about 4 or 5 millimeters. That's about 3/16 of an inch. It could be a little bit bigger, but that's about right. So 4 or 5 millimeters, if you can manage that, it's about the right size. Now you need to put the loop end of the string through that hole and get it right the way down the bottle to the other end. This will need a bit of patience. Just keep feeding it in, and eventually it'll get down to the bottom of the bottom of the bottle, and you'll be able to get your finger in, hopefully, and pull it through. There we go. Then you need to get a piece of dowling. An old pencil would do. This is actually wooden dowling. Doesn't need to be quite as long as this, perhaps about 3 inches, 4 inches long, would do about 10 centimetres. But you know, what is it? It's about 5 or 6 millimetres thick. As I say, an old pencil or an old felt tip that had dried out would do perfectly well. Put that through the loop in the top of the bottle like that. Now, put the top of the bottle down onto the table so that it's holding the piece of wood in place while you do this. And then you need to tie some knots as close to the bottom of the bottle as you can get them. Use both bits of string at the same time so you end up with a really nice big knot. And really you want to make about 3 knots so they go together in one big knot. Could be even more if you wanted. I mean, if you had to make a bigger hole, then, you know, 4, 5, 6 knots, the more the merrier really. And then we need to get a piece of sellotape, just a short piece will do fine, and stick the spare ends of the string down to the bottle. If you want to, you can tidy it up by cutting those little spare bits off there. Right, Now the way this instrument works, as I said, is if you twist this round like a propeller, the string will tighten up as it twists. And when it gets to a certain point, it'll be pulling tight enough so that the friction will stop this from coming undone again. And you can pluck it to see what it sounds like. You can make it tighter and higher, looser and lower. If you like, you can put your finger inside and press the string to make it shorter and longer. If you bring the dowling over to one side, play tunes with it, 2 or 3 notes there, quite perfectly possible. If you wanted to, sometimes people want to put another string inside it. I think that's overcomplicating it a bit. It gets quite difficult to do that. You could make another poptar and tape it to this one and then have a thumb in each of them, so you've got 2 notes. You can get together with a group of friends and everybody has a poptar and they all have different sounds, notes that they can play. Something else you can do, get a little piece of plastic that you cut out of this window here, and if you sort of fold it over, perhaps you could cut it into a sort of a plectrum shape, sort of petal shape, and you can use that to pluck the string to make the sounds better. This bit here can be felt tipped. You can put little stickers on it, put your name on it, put the name of the instrument, when it was made. You can have a lot of fun with these. This is called a poptar, as I said. I hope you enjoy making it. Thank you very much for listening.